The decision to jump changed me for sure, because you have to take the decision on your own and it changes you to an extent.
Hey, unesibindi mfondini. Hey, wasenza ikhosi ngolomfo. Wasewabhabha wasenza ikhosi nguye hayi unesibindi.
And apart from bravery, all signs caution for danger.
Just say goodbye and a couple of selfies. And then that's it.
But if it's my last day, then just before I go, I need to start back home, where a few young boys had spotted a beehive.
These young men have just come and said they've seen a couple of beehives.
Now the question isn't whether we're gonna be able to get the honey, but at the end of the day today, definitely we're not gonna back down. But now what turned out to be a very close hive turned out to be a very lengthy walk down. It can't be. I've never heard of someone being allergic to eating honey, but it might be, or it's possible. The toughest part is getting to the beehive and they start stinging as soon as I try to approach. But as I've said, we're not gonna turn back, so it is what it is. But what is shocking is that the amount of stings come down as soon as you start taking out the honey. I think the bees move back into the hive and try and eat as much as they can before you can get to it. But best be sure they never stop stinging. It's those 2 or 3 of them that would make you fall. Even if you take the honeycomb, they start stinging you through the honeycomb. And as soon as we started, a couple of stings later, and as far as my arm could reach inside the hole, that's as much honey as I could take out, but half of the bucket was full. And now all roads lead to Tsitsikama, because at the end of the day, I've still got the appointment to get there at 2 in the afternoon so that I can take the jump. With that being said, it's time to pack and leave. But on arrival in PE, sort out the honey and store it in the freezer so that it can freeze and not melt out of the honeycomb. But it has a different taste when you eat it from the honeycomb instead of it being drained. I don't know whether it's the wax, but for now I need to take the 270 and test out a few loads before I even attempt to leave PE.
The thing is, I've brought the 270 because I have a few loads that I've tested, and then I've got 2 different powders that I want to test out, and then after those 2 tests, I've got the 22, I've got the 223, I've got the 7x57 with me, just to outline a few things and make sure that a lot of them are sorted out.
And in no time, surprisingly, the 22 comes in very quick and it shoots very well. But now we're indecisive whether where should we start. Should we start 270 or 223?
Where do we start? Yeah, take the 270. You have loads again.
Yes.
Let's do 2 loads. 270. Then start playing with
The 270 is not a challenge to shoot. It's not a problem even to do anything. But now there is a challenge for me to want to shoot with the camera on top of the rifle, not through the scope but on top of the rifle, so that whenever I'm shooting I have a camera facing the animal. But that seems to be a problem for now.
Middle one. And I'm just trying.
Yeah, you can love the flick.
And on closer inspection, after sending a couple of rounds, you find that I should stick to the load that I had throughout the year. Now we bring out the .22 and it does exceptionally well.
But you know how am I holding? I'm holding as it's the plate.
Yeah.
I'm holding, yeah.
To the right, to the left,
yeah.
Because you are on the paper. You
For the 270, I should stay with exactly what I was doing. Same bullet, same powder, same primers. Nothing needs to change.
All in all, the 270, the groups are not what we had hoped for. So we should stay, if I use the same powder, I know where I should stay with the groups that I had before, or stay with my normal load, because I just wanted it to be a bit faster, but I don't need it to be any faster. So I should stay with exactly what I have, and then going forward, I need to start making a development for a secondary powder that I want to have that is always readily available. So you want to have a couple of powders that you know that this bullet weight and then this powder readily available. If this one is scarce, then I go into this one.
And
So
with all that being done, I can scratch all that out and then now focus on what needs to be done. Well, the travel from PE to Tizikama is a couple of hours, so might as well enjoy the last couple of fat pieces of meat that I have around and see if it's my last day tomorrow, then it's the last day today.
I last remember myself being able to do certain things that I would be afraid of, but you find that in those moments of having that fear, I would overcome the fear with the mental side. So if it can be, then I'm gonna go up to
Tizikama and try and attempt what I believe is going to be something that's going to need all the courage that I have, because at the end of the day, it's not only that you are going to do it, you have to take the decision on your own. They don't push you over.
the roads lead to Tizikama, where I believe I'm going to be able to do something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I believe I can do it.
As the kilometers drop, you start having conversations with yourself. It's what if the rope does this, and then what if this does that, and also this might be my last trip up where I would be alive, and then my next trip would be that I would be separated from my body. I just don't know.
The kilometers have come down to a point where I have to jump.
And in no time I arrive there and I decide, you know what, there's no turning back. With so many kilometers coming up, and I left home saying I'm gonna come here. So regardless of what happens to what, I'm not gonna turn back. And also secondly, you have to write down the indemnity that you agree to whatever happens. And that sends chills down your spine, but still the decision is there. I still have to make it. So in we go and we register and we write.
We've arrived, and it's only just signing in and weighing ourselves.
And now that we have signed in everything, you would wish that you would put rocks inside all your pockets so that you could weigh heavier than the weight limit that is there, but nothing is going to change. And the most common question is asked, where are you from? Why are you here? Why did you take the decision? But still nothing is going to change. It's an example of the axe has been sharpened.
I'm going to be responsible for your safety. You're going to make one pit stop. The other side to call the halfway mark where I'll explain the jump process, okay?
Yeah, X has been sharpened. There's just no turning back.
On first sight, you would think that we wouldn't have anything that involves walking underneath the bridge. Well, to our surprise, we were walking on net mesh for a couple of meters going to where we are going to actually jump off.
Gives you guys a horizontal view of how high the bridge actually is, okay?
The most confusing part is trying to convince your brain that it's safe to walk at this height, and you can't just make sense of how are you so high up. So what I decided is look at the shoulder level and don't look down, don't look over, don't look to the side, just walk straight. And now the doubt starts creeping in, because now what if the rope is loose when it's my turn? What if the stitching on the harnesses gives in when it's my turn, or my weight was just enough for it to let go? And at this point, you start to realize that your feet are tied up, your hands can't do anything to help you, you can't even jump off properly. But now that you're flying at a very fast speed, you don't have control over anything. It's not gonna help for you to be stressed or worried about the outcome. And just to think, from coming back from that, you start coming back changed because you realize that stressing over things, it's not gonna help. You just don't have any control. And then I spotted a big bushbuck ram.
I've come back from the bungee jumping, but on my way back, I've just seen a very big bushbuck ram. But it's an animal that had me stopping hunting it for a very long time, because one thing is that happens is I don't know whether it's a sinus reaction or what, but there's three animals that I've noticed. It's impala, it's kudu, and it's bushbuck. All those three, I don't want to have anything to do with them, because once I touch them, I can't do anything after that. The sinuses just block it.
I've had it with a couple of animals, but bushbuck and kudu, they're the worst. They're the most severe reaction I have.
My sinuses just block up. But apart from that, I came back from the bungee jumping, and one thing I can say is I'm not scared of the heights, I'm not scared of jumping off, but one thing that I don't like is
It's just not nice having control of when you are tired of hanging and then you have to rely on someone else to come pull you up.
I see you jump over a mountain. It was like a like experience. How did you feel jumping down there? Yeah, they say most when you jump like over a long cliff like it or something, by the time you hit the ground, you feel nothing. You feel absolutely nothing. But how did you feel afterwards? Did you feel at least like a little bit stress free, or like you see like I know it won't take some of your problems gone, but I mean that's clearing the mind and putting your mind to focus more.